Remember our Mk2 Golf GTI 16 valve? Here is our Mk2 Golf 16 valve GTI. Well, we featured it on our YouTube channel a number of years ago, and since then, not a lot has happened. So to get it back on the road, it's going to need a fair bit of work. So let's get started. Welcome to Southeast Mk2 Golfs, where we today are going to be working on our awesome Volkswagen Golf Mk2 GTI 16 valve. We've owned it since year 2011. It actually won some prizes back in the day, believe it or not. However, adulting sucks a little bit and priorities change, so it's not actually been on the road for the last 6 years. And also, our black Golf has needed a fair bit of work too, as you may have seen. Oh my God. But today, we are going to get this car back on the road and do a load of work to it to make sure that it is in the best possible condition. So, things that are wrong with this car that we need to fix. This, that, this, that, this, 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 that, this, that, this, these, yuck. Now, having been stood for such a long time, one of the main things that this car is going to need is an oil change. So it hasn't actually done that many miles since I did the oil last, probably only 1,000 miles or so, but as it was 6 years ago, oil does break down even if it's not being used. So always a good idea to do that. And for the sake of, what, £40 I think it is to do all of it, it's not a lot. Oil filter just comes with it. Fuel filter, we'll get under the car and do that as well. Now, the timing belt, that's one which I think definitely will need doing because, again, it's been stood for a long time. It's not done many miles since the last timing belt was done, but I think it might be about 10 years or so. So that belt has probably gone a little bit crusty and risks snapping. And being an interference engine, the pistons may kiss the valves, which I really don't want to be happening. Water pump as well, might as well do it whilst it's all there. And this car has actually got a fuel leak underneath when it's cold. So when you start the car up, I think this car runs something like 7 bar of pressure from the fuel pump. So I might be mistaken, but I think it is around that. It is very high, I know that. And anyway, there was a little fuel leak under there, so I need to sort that out. Spark plugs, obviously, is part of the service. The headliner, thanks to a very, very hot summer that we had a couple of years ago, has now sagged because the glue has melted. The rear tailgate trim has always been a little bit flaky, so I need to sort that out as well. I have a brand new, genuine replacement for that. And the passenger window also doesn't work and actually sits a little bit open all the time. And you might see that the car, instead of being a luscious tornado red, is a sort of dog appendage pink. So yeah, let's get that sorted as well. Ah, yes, I've forgotten one more thing, which I also need to put on there, which is a longer term one. The gearbox has a bit of a crunch as it goes into second. Let's see if we can get that sorted as well. Might even be just a linkage, but knowing how these cars were driven in their early days, they were normally ragged from cold, first to second, wallop into second gear. The synchro goes a bit funny on them, so might need a new gearbox or this one reconditioning.
Let's now go through a bit of history on our Tornado Pink GTI 16 valve that is in need of some resurrection after years of neglect. The car was found by my wife Jo, tucked away at a yard under some fern trees, having been left abandoned for years. The car was a basket case, with moss covering every panel and tree debris showered over the car from seasons of being left to rot. These pictures are the first ones sent to me by someone who was frothing with excitement. It then quickly became apparent that this wasn't a shopping trolley Golf, it was the hot hatch of every teenage boy's wet dream, the GTI 16 valve. So, like any level-headed person would do, we parted with a load of cash, loaded it onto a trailer and had it delivered to our house, which the neighbourhood clearly appreciated. Jo was very excited. We were ridiculously lucky to have found a car that had no rust on the body or structural parts, so we restored the car to a good superficial level, even becoming a prop in the music video for M22 How Does It Feel? And then all progress stopped.
Right, let's unveil the mighty 16 valve, the heartbeat of this car and what makes this car so special. Prepare to be a bit underwhelmed because it is dusty and covered in stuff and aluminium oxidization. But it has been well tuned, this car, professionally, and it is actually really, really fast. I'd like to see what it does on a rolling road. So maybe that is one for another day. But for now, let's get started. So first job on the list, jack up the car. Genuinely, it's too low. So for extra lols, even though this car is only lowered by 40mm on the Spax suspension, so a little bit lower than normal, and the GTI is a little bit lower than a normal cooking spec car, my low entry jack is even too big to get under the rear wishbone bolt sort of area. So I haven't really got a good area which I can jack it. So this is going to be fun. I think I might have to put it up on ramps or even invest in an even slimmer line jack, because this big 3-ton one is perhaps a bit overkill for a Mk2 Golf, which weighs about a ton. So because I actually do lots of track days and the cars are up and down like a lady of leisure's drawers, I think that my, Christ, this is why, my 3-ton low entry jack is perhaps a little bit overkill. It's cumbersome, it's massive, it weighs nearly 3 tons, I swear, and because the car weighs only 1 ton, I think 3 ton on a corner of a car, which is basically what, 250, maybe 300 kilos, is perhaps a little bit overkill. So I'm going to invest in a new low entry, slightly lighter weight jack. No, must not be tempted, otherwise I'll get in trouble. Here we go, that looks like the one. And, oh, happy days. Save £26. Of course it will. Minimum height of 7.5 centimetres. Now if my car was lower than that at any point, then I think I've got problems. Dual piston quick lift. Let's go for that. Now I managed to get it up in the air, not very easily I might add. Normally with a big bumper Golf, I find that I just jack it up on the front engine mount and then support it on the front cross member. Now on this, because of this front balance, which the big bumper one doesn't have, that goes actually underneath the front cross member and means you haven't really got anywhere to jack it in that place. I'm not going to jack it on the jacking point cup because we all know what can happen with one of those. It can stove in and then you end up in a bit of pain. So I had to jack it up on the rear wishbone bolt through the subframe, and then I actually then just put little blocks under each wheel, and that's just enough height to get underneath the car so that I can change the oil. Okay, I am going to start with the cam belt. Even though I listed it as number 4 on the list, I actually don't think it makes much difference because it's all going to get done. Now to start, I'm going to move the airbox and get all this out of the way so I've got nice clear access.
As it transpires, people can't help themselves. They just descend in to lend a hand when they sniff out a Mk2 Golf being worked on.
For moral support, the cavalry have arrived to do the cam belt because I've not done one in a long time, and not on one of these ones either.
All I want to know is, why? Why? How could this happen? Something else to fix, and that's why your idle will hunt. So it doesn't know it's idling.
So it's a micro switch, is it? And then it just...
But it's micro chopped. That's not exactly what I expected. They've pulled out of the pins. So you can reuse that.
Yeah. He takes the mick out of my first toolkit.
It is a little bit like that.
Whilst Ben is removing bits for access and picking flaws in my car, I do the dirty work, breathing in concrete dust to drain the oil. The oil filter is removed and the new one filled with fresh Fuchs Titan 10W40 semi-synthetic oil and refitted.
Tasty carcinogens.
The cap head bolt securing the top timing belt cover is removed and the cover lifts off. Then yet another anomaly is discovered.
Finger loose. So you're losing horsepower, probably some gas escaping through your threads.
So, oh no. So my 139 horsepower is now probably probably about 100. Looks all right.
doesn't look terrible. I mean, you get ones where there's like black oil up to here because of the gaskets leak. That's a little bit of oil, a little bit of tan colour, so it probably was running okay.
With the finger-tight spark plugs removed, we undo the bolts securing the top half of the inlet manifold, despite my weakness nearly getting the better of me.
Good job, I'm strong, eh?
The whole car is moving.
Strength.
A bit of anger. There you go.
Ben sees brown bits. Ben doesn't like brown bits and insists I paint it black like it should be.
Sad tale, that, isn't it?
Yeah. So I got this cam cover gasket back in 2011 from a fellow VW enthusiast, and it's proof to show that you can never have too many spare bits. So cheers, Bobby. We're going to put it to good use after all this time.
The cam cover is removed for us to inspect the condition of the two camshafts in this engine. This was sophisticated engine technology in the mid-1980s. When many other manufacturers were opting with forced induction, VW went down the double overhead cam route for high revving and predictable high power output. Early examples of these engines are thought to have left the factory with far more than the official 139 brake horsepower figure. We drop the coolant into a container and over our shoes for good measure so we can remove the water hoses off the leaky flanges.
So we have taken the cam cover off because when we took the little cover off for the cam belt and we took the spark plugs out, we noticed that there was a bit of oil residue on there, so it shows that the little cam cover gasket is leaking. And because I managed to buy one or acquire one about 10 years ago, we're going to put that to use, so that is going to be going in. We noticed a fair bit of coolant sort of residue around a lot of the sort of the coolant pipes basically, so we've taken those off. We're going to clean up all these flanges really, and make sure they don't leak anymore. This is new porting and polishing. Now we're trying to get this coolant flange out here, but this bolt is pretty inaccessible with this in the way, so we've removed it, and now we've got to try and undo this bolt, which is proven very tight. So we're going to use a heat gun and just expand it. The metals will expand and contract at different rates, so that should eventually loosen it off nicely. Our theory works.
But I've not lost the patient yet.
Nice. Very original. Give that a nice clean up, and that'll look good.
You know it looks good.
Direct injection.
We apply a smear of blue Hylamer on the half-moon seals as these areas are prone to leaking. Meanwhile, Ben is scrubbing 35 years worth of grot from inside the cam cover.
Jamie's car, it was like, this bit was just like this, but it got all corroded because it's just not run in 15 years, it's crazy. Didn't have any old crap to protect it.
The engine is turned over to top dead centre, which is indicated by the marks on the camshaft sprocket in line with the flat of the head. On the other side of the head, the two camshafts should be perfectly aligned, shown by the two dots being in line when level with the flat of the head when viewed from the same angle on the opposite side.
old shocked face again.
Fitting the timing belt is the easy part, tensioning it a bit more fiddly.
Generally I can't find the hole, need some hair around it.
Where's WD? Do that first.
Well, I mean that looks good here.
Is it?
Is that think that's tight?
What beautiful markings.
Well, you can tell, like, so you don't get confused. You've got the white line with the two lines either side of it. Matches up with the other side.
Yeah.
We turn the engine over again to make sure that the new timing belt is fitted correctly and not a tooth out, as this would make it drive even slower than your nan's Honda Jazz on VTEC.
Less height, we put that back on there. That's what you hold it all over place. So we've got that one there and that pink one there.
Out with the old and in with the new.
That is crazy close, isn't it?
Yeah. Things that might cause your car to run a little bit funny. You've got your metering head, and then this you'd never notice because it would go there. Flip it over, got a little hole. So any air that's been sucked through there is not going past the metering head, causing leanness and stuff. It's just time to just put these new spark plugs in. I usually get NGK, but somebody must have got a deal on some Bosch ones here.
Obviously, special offer.
Single electrode, and they look like they're pre-gapped because the electrode's been bent down a bit. We've got the feeler gauge on 0.75 mil, and it just about fits in, so I think they're probably good to go as they are.
The factory is between 0.7 and 0.9 mil, isn't it? So, and that's 0.75. So
yeah, if you can get through all the internet pages that say it's just pre-gapped.
Alright, so now is a good time to wrap up for the day. We have changed the cam belt and timed it, so that is a good bulk of the work all done. The water pump is changed as well, so that is good. We are going to beautify the engine a little bit by painting the rocker cover. That's going to be nice. We have also tidied up the block, made that look a little bit less brown because that was pretty minging. We have found a few little bits which will need sorting out. We've tidied up these coolant flanges because they were pretty manky really, and they were letting water by and just crystallised all the coolant, so it looked a bit grot. I'm going to give that and that a nice old spruce up. Whether I'm going to polish that up or paint it, not sure yet, I will decide. And there were a couple of other little bits as well which we came across, like this, which we think is to do with the idle on the throttle body. All that wiring was broken, so that's going to need rewiring and making sure that is working okay. And I've ordered a new gasket for this flange here because I was not really expecting to have to change that, but that is going to be coming in the next couple of days. So that is us for now. We'll catch up next time on Southeast Moxie Golfs. Like some
Different cars.
In the drink.
Yeah. Improved one, aren't they?